Hello, it is Sunday and it is time for my mental health vlog. My world has been a little busy with my embroidery studio. My big machine is out of commission and it's currently in the shop. I got a wipe error and ended up bending my needle threader, and then I can't get it to, the timing's off now, so had to take that in. They've raised their service prices, so that was a kick in the balls I wasn't expecting. But honestly, there's no one else that can service these machines in the Houston area, so they have a monopoly, unfortunately. But they do good work, and at this point, they know me by name because I've given them a lot of business over the years. So it is currently at McDougal's, which means my really, really old, once dead machine is all I have going for my orders. And I have a lot of orders that have come in, especially from the Princess and the Frog. And I'm like, what the hell? And then I'm like, oh yeah, Splash Mountain, they redid it to Princess and the Frog, Tiana's Bayou Adventure, and that opens this summer. So people are getting ready for celebrating that this summer. So like half my orders have something to do with the Princess and the Frog. It's just insane. Every time Disney does something like this, I get a spike in a certain order. When the Figment popcorn buckets came out, Figment orders were daily. When the Main Street Electrical Parade redid its thing, I had a series of those that were very intensive patches, time-intensive patches, but they were selling like crazy. So it's just anytime there's a trend or a fad, I get to capitalize on it, I guess. So, and then I end up on some message board and people send people, and it's been crazy. So that business continues to do very, very well. Although right now I am handicapped and down to one machine that is equivalent to about a half of what I was getting out of the other machine. So working a lot of extra hours, and that's okay. I'm running my second annual Get Bottom contest on my Burley Bottoms side of the business, and that's been really exciting. I reached out and made a fun panel of judges to help me pick the top 3 submissions, and then now everyone's voting on them on social media. What's cool is one of the top 3 is actually was recently nominated for some kind of like porn award or something. So that's kind of cool. I'm like, I kind of hope he wins so I can sell a shirt with him on it, because that means he's got a big follower base. Speaking of Burley Bottoms, we've been spending a lot of time looking at marketing materials and pricing, booths and insurance and inventory and things like that. We are going to have a meeting with the investors, meeting with the bank, the in-law bank, who wants to help make this happen. We've run some numbers, and we're going to meet with them and go over some options with them. So I know we'll be at least one Pride event this year. I just don't know if it's going to be more than that. And I'm not sure if it will be actual Pride or if it'll be like Carbach, the Pride kickoff event at the beginning of June. So I don't know. Or something in Montrose, which I'd much prefer. But it's just a matter of I can't seem to get a hold of anybody. I can't seem to get a response from any of the bar managers that usually hold the block parties. We finally got a response from one of them today saying that his office manager would contact us tomorrow. I think that was the Eagle, and they've got a street party across there. But I'm interested in doing something at the Eagle or like the Buddies parking lot, or if Ripcord is doing a block party as well. I'd much rather do something on Montrose, honestly. That's in the community and it's support, So I don't know. We'll see. I mean, we're getting close. I did get my banner ordered for our booth. It came in this week, and it was a weird moment. It was a cool moment. It was, holy shit, this is really happening moment. And it turned out so great. It did exactly what I wanted it to do. It showcased a variety of different products or a variety of different designs, as well as the intricate use of negative space that I really do pride myself on. And that you'll find that in a good 90% of my work. just how things can change with color. So it was a very radiant rainbow gradient background, so it kind of it transfers color. So you'll see one design, you can actually see the color changing behind it. So the guy's jock strap is changing color. You know how my stuff is. Anyway, that was really cool. And I've had some people that are like, I'm really, really proud of you. And I'm like, this is really cool. This is really happening. I'm really excited about this. And I'm still having so much fun with it. Clearly, this is what I'm meant to be doing. I just hope that it becomes supportive or self-supporting. So that's what's going on with that. Oh, I'm also working on a new product for that. That is a low-cost product. And I don't have a lot of low-cost products. It's a low-cost product, but it still allows people to really enjoy the designs. So I hope to have some inventory of the new product at the event in June. So that's fun. Enough about that. But yes, I am noticing that I'm working a little bit later, a little bit longer, staying in the office a little bit, coming into the office more frequently than I normally would when I'm not like in the office, just to change thread or make sure the machine's still running or it's doing what it's supposed to do, just because I'm running this little one more often now. Day job has been busy. It's always busy. I told my boss to stop talking this week. That was funny. I was in a meeting, an early morning meeting, and the developer asked me a question on one of the items I'd submitted. And the developer meetings are first thing in the morning. There's no coffee had yet. It's like 7:30 in the morning for me, which I get out of bed at like 7:27 to be here at 7:30, so no judgment. And they know my brain takes a second to wake up in the morning, and I'm trying to wrap my head around whatever complicated item that they're asking me. And one of them asked the question, and as I was trying to process it in my head, my boss was like, well, what he's trying to ask is, and then she starts going off and off and off because she hates dead air. And what she's saying is not what the developer asked. It's not even the same thing. And I said, okay. And I asked the developer something. Is this what you're asking? And I asked my question to confirm that I understood what he was asking. And he said yes, my boss said no. I said, okay, Tammy, just stop talking. Let me work this out with him. You and I can figure this out later. What you're talking about is not the same thing, and you're gonna make this worse. I'm like, and she was like, And she I think she understood as I was then communicating more with the developer that, oh, yeah, that's not the same thing I was thinking it was. So, and I think she and I did talk after that. And I felt kind of bad to her, like, I need you to stop talking. But I will say my boss is, I won't say my boss is amazing because she's, we're learning how to work together. But she does make the extra effort to try and know how I best receive things, how I know how I can receive information, process information, return information. And when she just comes at me with a whole bunch of stuff, it's all bouncing off, nothing's sinking in. I may have grabbed onto one key element to try and follow what she's saying, but it's really hard for me to follow her sometimes. So she has made the effort, if we're going to talk about a certain topic, like a project that I maybe completed last week or something, she will say, hey, when we meet a little bit, these are the things I want to talk about, and these are some of the questions that I have. So she can give me the leeway time that I need to go in and research and prepare. Because, again, I talk a lot about my ADHD. One of the types of ADHD I have, one of the executive function types of ADHD that I have, is the fact that once I've completed something, I set it aside and I don't think about it anymore. I don't remember a lot of detail about it. I just don't store that stuff in my head. But I know that I've got the documentation behind it, that I can go back and I can research it and I can find out. So if I have a little bit of leeway time or lead time to know what the concerns or the questions are, what they're about, what project they're on, what application they're for, whatever, that allows me to be able to better give her the stuff that she's looking for. So she really has made the effort to try and, she knows I have a hard time getting up in the morning. She doesn't expect me on the developer calls every morning. She's only asked that I be there at least 2 times a week. So I've made an agreement with her. Great, I will Tuesdays and Thursdays. Does that work? Fantastic. There have been times where I've needed to be on the Monday, Wednesday, or Friday call, and I accommodate her when I need to, but she communicates the needs with me. So really grateful that I've got a boss that understands that not everybody learns and works and processes the same way that she does. And it's great to see someone give a shit to try, because a lot of people wouldn't. Oh, I don't care if you don't process the information that way. This is how I'm giving it to you, so manage it, deal with it, whatever. A lot of people would do that and not give a shit, because it's not about, them changing their way. It's you working with me, so you figure it out. So it's been kind of cool that she's done that. It's been an interesting growth with her. I think she and I have been a very interesting pair to develop as manager supported team member over the past couple of years, because it didn't start well at all. But she's trying. I'm trying. We're both trying. And the results usually are beneficial for that. So I guess the point that I'm trying to make here is, if you know that you don't process information a certain way that's been given to you, or the expectation is, and that's been a struggle for you, take the opportunity to maybe give you the person giving you the information a little bit of insight into how best they can phrase it for you. Help them help you. There's nothing wrong with it. The worst thing they can say is fuck off. So give it a try. When it works, it's great. And if you try it and it doesn't work as well as you thought it was, try something else. Because once you find out who you are, you find out what you need. It's amazing how often that line comes up. And also related to Princess and the Frog. Let's see. I went to my meeting on Wednesday night after we had a deployment at work, which went well. Thank God. And there were several new members there. And when we have a new member at one of our meetings, our topics is always about hope, strength, and experience, hope, and strength. What we were like, what we've experienced, how our experience can benefit others. What have we gained? How are we different now than we were when we came into the program? And one of the topics that usually gets brought up, because all of the verbiage in any 12-step program, in most any 12-step program, is going to revolve around the G word, a higher power. And a lot of people struggle with this. A lot of people can't get past that, which is unfortunate, because then they miss out on learning tools that can really help them better manage their lives. And it was helpful when someone explained to me that your higher power in your program doesn't have to be a religious deity or the head of any religious deity. So Buddha, God, Katniss, whatever you celebrate, I don't know. It can be whatever. And since then, I've always made sure that, I communicate that my higher power is the love and support of my group that I get from my group, because that is bigger than I am. Therefore, that is something that I can look at as a higher power. That's all it has to be, is something bigger than you. Not like, physically bigger than me. Oh, this house is my higher power. Trust me, this house is not my higher power. This house is a boil on the butt of humanity. But, so I was trying to explain that. And I got distracted and I started rambling. And this was my share. So your share is your time. You're supposed to be like 4.5 minutes. And you're supposed to talk about your experiences, not like what other people should do. And I realized that when I got distracted, I changed it around from my experience to what other people should do. And I was trying to walk back from that, and then someone who was a new member interrupted me, which you don't do in a meeting, and it threw me off even more because I had to stop them. Like, we don't crosstalk in meetings. Just you can share later, which didn't help the fact that I was trying to find some kind of point of view, a point period of my share to let the new people know that your higher power doesn't have to be, what you come into the program thinking a higher power has to be. And when that is one of the reason it was so important to me, because that's one of the biggest roadblocks that new members hear and walk away from, because they are not religious. I am not religious. I am pretty anti-religion, and there are people in the program that are religious, and I have the most respect for them. Your higher power can be whatever you want it to be, whether it's God or something else. That's it. If you're religious, you've got a built-in higher power. You're good. That's not a problem. You're in the approved group. You're good. Us that don't have that, we had to figure something out. So it was just me trying to, and was rambling much like I am right now on the same topic. So you can see it's not great. Anyway, I felt like I kind of embarrassed myself, and after the meeting, I just kind of left. I'm like, I don't feel like I handled that well. I don't feel like I got my point across. I don't want pasta. I'm going home. Like, I got to the freeway and I'm like, left to pasta, or left to fellowship, right to home. I'm like, I'm going home. So, today we went to a little gay wedding expo out in the boonies, which I was surprised that it was a gay wedding expo out in the boonies, where, I'm like, okay, we're all gonna get shot. And there's a lot of anxiety right now within the gay community regarding things like weddings and marriages, and a lot of us are really worried. A lot of you think it's no big deal. A lot of you don't think it's going to happen. A lot of you aren't worried about it being, whatever. Some of us are scared. And we are rightfully scared. And if you don't understand why we're scared, you clearly are not paying attention to the right things. So there was a little bit of a cloud over the expo once that was kind of like talked about and brought up, because we're scared to SCOTUS. Yeah, we're scared in November. You should be too. Tomorrow is the eclipse. Most of the country will get some kind of partial view of it. I am in the Houston area, so we're getting like 97% coverage here tomorrow. Although we may have some thunder clouds and rain clouds tomorrow, so I actually don't know how much visibility we'll have here from Houston. So I'm excited to see it, whatever we can see. Everybody go and buy a strange plant tomorrow. Little shop of horrors. I am done. I think that's all the energy I have for this evening. So, I think that's it. That's all I got. Check on your friends. Make sure they're doing okay. I've got a couple going through some stuff. Check on your loved ones. Make sure they're doing okay. I get to see my loved ones in a couple of weeks. I'm actually really excited about that. And check on yourself. What do you need? This week I needed to refresh my hair. I needed to refill some medications. And I need to rest more, because I'm not. And I'm working extra hours on these embroidery patches. And I can tell my body's like, you need to rest more. And I'm still losing weight. It's weird. It's really weird. I saw a picture of myself last weekend, and for the first time, it was like I thought I was photoshopped. So it's still getting adjusting to the new body from the diet changes, and the most recent change was the moving from Trulicity to Ozempic. So still very weird. I've lost this year, and it's April, almost 20 pounds. which blows my mind. All right, guys. I will check in with you next week. Enjoy the eclipse tomorrow. Do not look directly at the eclipse. Do not put on generic sunglasses to look at the eclipse. Listen to the scientists. Listen to the doctors. Don't be an idiot. But if you do, then you won't see me on next week. You'll just hear me next week. All right. Bye, everybody. Enjoy.